Hello and welcome to Sound Mind, Sound Body. This is a monthly Zoom workshop that I share with electronic music professionals and other creatives. So Iris, you're not into the music, and Christina, you're not into the music yet, but welcome and thank you for being here today. A little bit about me. I'm Izzy Naud. I'm a health and well-being coach in the music industry. I teach Tai Chi and Qi Gong, and I specialize in Chinese martial arts and Chinese medicine. And today we want to talk about winter and finding inner peace. So winter in traditional Chinese medicine has a connection with the water element. There are 5 elements, which are water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. And each of them is related to a season. And so for the winter, water is the element, and it is connected to the organs, kidneys, and the bladder, urinal bladder. So everything related with water. And the color is dark blue and black. And there is an emotion associated to the water, which is fear. And welcome, Maxima. So the opposite of fear, when we manage to work our fear, is inner peace. And these days, it's important to cultivate our inner peace so that we can share our frequency and our vibration to the outer world and create a more peaceful world. When we change seasons, it impacts our bodies, our emotions, our moods, our mental health, and therefore there are some practices that can help navigate these changes. And for example, in my coaching, I recommend to practice Tai Chi in winter because water goes with the flow. And Tai Chi is a Chinese martial arts where we perform slow movements. And these are very harmonious. And it looks like we are moving our bodies, our limbs, in water. So that's also why we imagine that there's like a resistance when we make our movements. And later on, I will invite you to do a Tai Chi movement, and we will also practice a Qi Gong movement. So, in terms of winter and how we can nourish ourselves, take care of ourselves, it is recommended to slow down in the winter because the yin energy, which is a more feminine energy, is at its maximum in winter. And for this reason, we will privilege meditation and slow pace activities such as Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, and concentrating on the inner part of ourselves. And one of the aspects of water is that it is very connected to the unconscious and the subconscious. This is a part of ourself which is like within, deep inside us, and at the same time they impact our decisions on a daily basis. And it's a profound part of who we are and which we developed as we are kids. And so sometimes we have some behaviors where we don't understand why we behave one way. And when we investigate, we can find that, oh, that's because when I was a child, this situation happened, and so to protect myself, to take care of myself, I developed this tactic. Let's put it that way. And so it is important, if you can, to journal your thoughts and what you have inside. I try to journal every morning, and in the evening, I have a gratitude practice. So I write down 5 things that happened during the day, or 5 persons, or like it can be an experience, it can be a situation, it can be someone, a loved one who gave you a hand to fix something on the wall, for example, or be grateful for the sun shining, being grateful for someone just being there for us and loving us. And I'm grateful for you joining this workshop. And I'm so happy to see your faces. Other practices that can help in the winter are to go out into the nature when the sun is shining. And Clarence was saying that, yes, now at 4 in the evening in Berlin, it's night. And so whenever there's the sun shining, it's the time to go out and enjoy it. And I'm so grateful that I live in Barcelona, where we are currently having a good, nice weather, and I could sit outside midday with short sleeves and just get some sun. It was so wonderful. And finally, also to get inside of us, it's good to do some reflection and some more inner work. For example, imagine you have dreams. Well, you can also start a dream journal and have a reflection on what does that mean. For example, this morning I dreamt of an artist, and I dreamt that I was going to visit him in Lisboa, and just for the day to give him support, because recently he shared that he was going through some mental health issues, and that he was taking care of himself and getting some support and seeing a therapist. And I dreamt of this. I dreamt that I was going to work with him and support him with Tai Chi and the Qi Gong and all my knowledge in terms of healthy habits. And this is great to listen to what our subconscious communicates us through our dreams, because it can be also a message of what we can create in our life. And I'm sure many of you have big dreams and big projects. And so listening to our intuition and to our inspiration is really essential to get inspiration and go and deliver our mission to the world. And you are wonderful women. And one more topic about the water and traditional Chinese medicine. In traditional Chinese medicine, we recommend to adapt the nutrition for each season. So for winter, we recommend to eat warm and hot food. That means like slow cooked food, soup, grilled in the oven vegetables, and also privilege the dark colored foods. So for example, the black beans, the lentils, the atsuki beans, the kidney beans. You can also work with black rice, and also the algae from the sea. This is connected to water, and the taste that we privilege in winter is salty foods. So everything that's salty, like olives, for example, you can add them to your food. And another thing to keep in mind is to drink a lot to hydrate ourselves. We forget when it's cold that we need to drink. And I recommend to do some hot herbal teas, and especially with ginger, fresh ginger that you cut in pieces and you put into boiling water and you let it sit for a while until it cools down, and then you can consume it. And these ginger and other spices, they are very recommended during the winter season because they bring heat to the body and stimulate the immune system. And last but not least, I want to recommend to listen to yourself. So, for example, things that I like to do in the winter is to go to the spa of my gym where they have the sauna and the hammam, the steam sauna. And there I just get some heat and that nourishes my body and my skin and it makes me feel so much better. So maybe you want to try this, or you want to try to get massage also, massaging your own feet before you go to bed. That's a good practice. And you can use an essential oil of lavender to calm down in the evening, and that helps induce sleep. And now I want to invite you to do two practices of Tai Chi and Qi Gong. So first, Tai Chi is a Chinese martial art, which is related to Kung Fu, but more slow. The movements are as if we were inside water. So it's like, imagine you're floating and that there's a resistance due to water, but we're in the air. And every movement that we do, they connect with attack or defense. That's the martial side of the practice. And on the other side is inspired from traditional Chinese medicine. It's one of the different part of Chinese medicine. And these are slow movements that are done in the same rhythm as breathing. And this is like also a meditation in movement, and that heals our organs and work on the emotions. So I will invite you to stand up if you can. Yes. Okay. And so we will first start with the Tai Chi movement. First, we put our feet separated of the width of our hips. And then once the front leg is going to be bent and the back leg is going to be stretched. And so there's more weight on the front leg. And then there is going to be a balancing. So what we do, it's like a bit like a dance, because we will go from the front to the back leg. So first the weight is in front, and then the weight goes to the back, so we bend the back leg, and we stretch the front leg, and the toes go up in front. So this is for the movement of the leg. So let's do that a few times. We bend the leg in the front, and then weight behind. We bend the back leg and bring the toes up from the front leg. Two more times. Bend the front leg and stretch the back leg. And then behind, bend the back leg and raise the toes from the front leg. One more time. We bend the front leg and we stretch the back leg. And we bend the back leg, stretch the front leg, and the toes go up. There we go. And so the movement we do today is called Lu. It means to bring back. And so the hands go this way, one palm up and the other palm down. And we imagine that there's an opponent who wants to punch us, and basically we grab his arm and bring him back to the floor, to throw him on the floor, basically. So here is how it works. The weight is in front, we grab their arm and fist, and bend the knee behind, bring our weight behind, and bring them down. And again. Weight in front, and we grab their arm, and we bend the leg behind, and we bring them with us to the ground. 2 more times. Weight in front, we grab their arm and bring them with us behind. Weight behind, and we grab them and put them to the floor. One last time. Weight on the front leg, and we grab their arm, and we bend our knee behind, and we bring them to the ground. Alright, so this is Lu, and it's part of a sequence that's called the 13 steps of Tai Chi, which is very close to Qi Gong, and that particular movement is connected with the water element and the kidneys in terms of organs. Now I want to invite you to do the Qi Gong exercise. This Qi Gong movement is going to be taken from the 5-animal Qi Gong routine, where each animal is connected to one element and one emotion. And so in this case, the animal we will work with is the deer, and the deer is connected to the water element, and it is connected to the fear in terms of emotion. And so here is the movement. First, we bend our knees, and our hands are going to go down, and our spine is going to do like a wave. So I'm going to show you how that looks like on the side. So we bend our knees, the hands go down, and the spine does this wave, and then we put our heel in front, and our hands go down. So let me show you this way. So bend our knees, make a wave with the spine, and then the heel touches in front, and then the whole foot touches the ground in front, and the hands go down with all the fingers together, and then the weight goes behind, we bend the knee behind, and we look between some horns that we do with our fingers. And then the weight goes back in front. And here we change the weight from one side to the other. And then the other foot goes to the front. First the heel, then the whole foot, the weight goes in front, and then the weight goes behind, and we look between the fingers, and then the weight goes in front again. Then when we come back, we make a little jump, changing the weight from one side to the other, and then we change legs. And so heel, the whole foot touches in front, and we look down, and then the weight goes behind, and we look between our fingers, and the weight goes back in front, and we bring the foot behind, and we switch the weight to the other foot, and then again, heel, the weight goes in front, we look to the ground, the weight goes behind, and we look between the fingers, and the weight goes in front, and we switch the weight, and we're going to do one more time on each side. First the heel, then the whole weight on the front leg, the weight on the back leg, and we look between the fingers, weight in front, we bring the foot back and change sides, and last one, weight in front, weight behind, weight in front, and this time no jumping, and we gather the energy in the dantian, and we can close the eyes. And we can open our eyes little by little. And this finishes the practice and the presentation part.